Right, so a proper prepping video, which I've not done for quite some time. Now, I have pointed this out in a previous video a long time ago. Now, I was trying to explain this or send a link to this or one similar to this to Ruth Smith in the comment section, and every time I put a link in there, it disappeared. Every time I put a comment in there saying the word sewing machine, it disappeared. So I've had to do a video because I can't get this information to Ruth or any of you guys really in the comments section, because they just kept on disappearing. You know, we're not talking about like passing suitcase nukes to each other or blowing shit up. You know, it's a fucking sewing machine. So the algorithms are so mangled. I've got absolutely no idea what these algorithms are all about, because they don't seem to make any sense. You know, we're being censored on sewing machines. Right. So I'm going to talk about a few little things here, but I'm going to start off with hydrogen peroxide, food grade, 3%. Right now, I've got a little folder somewhere with lots and lots of information that I researched about 3 years ago, and I can't find it. So I've just spent the last 2 hours trying to find out what, instead of using bleach to make your water safe, using hydrogen peroxide, food grade hydrogen peroxide, 3% instead, because in many ways it is actually better for you. Because but I can't find this folder. I can't find the folder. So I've just, anything that's probably good for you as an alternative seems to be really difficult to find out on Google. Again, this just pushes my point forward about Google. You know, does my twatting head in. So I've not been able to find out. If any of you guys can like look into it, I'll keep looking for this folder, because this folder is important. It's got lots of information in there that is great moving forward. I do believe that everyone should have a bottle of this. It's not expensive. 3% food grade hydrogen peroxide, right? Because it's good stuff. And the expiry date, I mean, I bought this over a year ago, and so they've got good dates. It's got good dates. It's, you know, it lasts as long as, if not longer, than bleach does before it starts to lose its power. So using hydrogen peroxide as an alternative to bleach, which it is better. You see, bleach isn't really, it's not really naturally occurring, not really, whereas hydrogen peroxide is, you know. So I'll just tell you firstly what other uses there are for hydrogen peroxide other than making your water safer to drink. Again, it's not going to remove any chemicals out of the water. Just bugs, you know, bacteria, stuff like that. So please do your own research. You'll realise very quickly that it is very difficult to research some of this stuff. Like I said, I've just spent 2 hours doing this, and my intention is to do a live stream. I was hoping to make the live stream, or kick off with a live stream at 7 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock. So I've given up. But just let me tell you what hydrogen peroxide, and you can use it with a like, you know, these little I've done a video on it before where you've got a mask, you put the mask, a nebulizer, so you can use it in a nebulizer, and I've got the exact quantity of how much is needed in a nebulizer in ratio to water written down, but I don't know where it is. So that might be a video further down the line, just so that I can tie a few loose ends up. So it's good for, again, do your own research on each one of these specific things. It can reduce swollen gums, reduce oral infections. It softens and reduces earwax. And bear in mind that if you've got a bit of a cold or some sort of, bacterial or viral issue going on, obviously speak to your GP. Again, this is all for entertainment purposes only, because I've got to watch my back. Your ears, your nose, your throat, all connected. So putting some of this stuff in the right solution with the right quantity, again, look it up, please look it up yourself, on a cotton bud in your ear, it does work its way through, and it can reduce cold symptoms and stuff like that. So yeah, it softens and reduces earwax at the same time. It can help with acne, again on a little cotton bud, with the right solution. It can sort your acne out without fucking your skin up. Sinus infections, again, look into that. It can whiten your teeth, and it promotes fresh breath when gargled. Again, you need to find out what the right ratio of hydrogen peroxide to water that needs to be. I think it's one part hydrogen peroxide to 11 parts water. So athlete's foot and nail fungus. There is something else that's even just as good, if not better, for fungal nail infections, and that's that. And I've just forgotten what it is. What a great video this has turned out to be. Yeah, when you add black pepper to it, it activates it. Oh my god. I don't think I've got any left in the cupboard. I think I've used it all up. Anyway, right, so it's very, very good for athlete's foot and nail functions when you get the solution right. Again, a lot of this stuff is easy to research. It's the consumption part that's difficult to research. And if you use it too much as an oral mouthwash, because it kills a lot of it can kill a lot of the good bacteria in your mouth that keeps certain things at bay. If you use it too often as a mouthwash, you can end up with something called black hairy tongue. Yeah, that's a thing. So when you remove certain bacteria out of your mouth, that can give way to fungus, and black hairy tongue is a fungus. And it is what it sounds like. It's like a hairy tongue that's black, nasty. Look it up. Gross. Again, when gargled with the right solution, with the right ratio, it can soothe a sore throat, and it's very, very effective at that. If you've got yellow nails, it can brighten your nails. It's extremely good for eliminating dandruff. So, you can get rid of your toxic chemical Head and Shoulders. It's good for bug bites and in most cases, the inevitable itching that comes with that. and it's also an incredible stain remover. So yeah, I do feel a little bit pissed off that I couldn't find this folder. So I do apologise, Ruth, because Ruth was asking me what ratio of 3% or hydrogen peroxide in general. I only use 3%. How much would be needed to purify water? And it's written down somewhere. When I find it, I'll do another video on this, because it's incredible stuff. It's definitely something worth having around. Hold on. Yeah, I can't find it. So, and it can also be used in a, yeah, like I said, it can be used in a nebulizer. But the death fog is chemical. When used in a nebulizer, that's to fight bacteria in your lungs, you know, the onset of a chest infection. But you need to look all this stuff up yourself. So, but I mean, most people know that you can purify water with bleach. Now, the ratio of bleach based on the percentage of the bleach. So this is 5%. Yep, can you see that? So based on 5% of bleach, if it's not too old, because it does become, it sort of almost turns into water after a few years, as I've found out. So bleach, again, it's not going to remove any chemicals, just bacteria, just bugs. And even then, you need to, after you've used it, you need to leave the water for a little while, and maybe even boil it as well. But again, if you're trying to save on fuel, bleach will do the job. So the bleach to water ratio is 2 drops per litre. So that's roughly 8 drops per gallon, roughly, and that's 5%. And it's a well-known brand. And I do think that some people might be under the illusion, and when I say drops, if you buy yourself a little dropper bottle, I mean, they're so cheap to buy. When you have the dropper full of bleach, and then you place it over your water source, and then just press the little rubber thing gently. Storm's drinking again. It's always when I do a video. When gravity allows that drop to drop, that's a drop. So it's 2 drops per litre, or roughly 8 drops per gallon of plain 5% bleach. Now, I'm sure there are some people out there that would think, citrus. So I can clean my water and have that fresh citrusy taste. It doesn't work like that. It will taste rank. So just stick to ordinary plain bleach, because at that quantity, using a dropper, you shouldn't really be able to taste the bleach. And again, when using hydrogen peroxide for your mouth or your ears or whatever, use it with distilled water. But whilst I'm on the subject of water, some of you guys might be familiar with this, which is it's called methylene blue. So I'm just going to go through a few things that can make your water better, healthier, beneficial, and this is one of them. Now, it can be quite alarming when you stood as a bloke. I mean, women don't see themselves weeing because they sit down, you know. And biological fact here, you know, because of the shape of the bladder in a woman and the shape of the bladder in a man, it's almost exactly the same. So men are actually better off sitting down to have a wee, because the bladder is like that. So if you sit down to have a wee, it takes that last bit of wee that's in your bladder and sort of flattens it out a little bit, so you get rid of it all. But yeah, because blokes generally stand when they are urinating, and ladies, you know, you seem to think that because we've got a directable jet that we can automatically aim straight into the bowl. It's not necessarily like that. It's not always like that. It can go off in 3 or 4 different directions. Out of control, weeing, you know. But yeah, to see when you've had that in your water, again, look online for how much of this methylene blue you need, and then do some research into what methylene blue can do for your body. And it started out as a clothes dye. Who would have known, you know? So that's one good way of making your water betterer. I know better is not a word, but I like it. This is another one that will make your water a hell of a lot better. This is probably, especially if you're using a distiller, you end up with just pure water. You know, all of the minerals, anything that's good in that water, it's gone really. So you need to either add Himalayan pink rock salt, Celtic sea salt, or Mediterranean sea salt. But a lot of these sea salts now can contain microplastics. So this is definitely a better alternative. You know, I mean, it helps to remove heavy metals, which is, you know, one of the things that's raining down on us, you know, because of all of this this cloud seeding nonsense and geoengineering and this weird fog. We're breathing in all sorts of shit, and this will help to get rid of that. Fulvic acid. So there's 2 things that can make your water betterer. Actually, there is another one. I think that's why I went to the fridge initially. Where is it? Yeah, for helping to fight bugs and stuff like that. I'm sure some of you guys have got this in. If you haven't, I strongly recommend that you buy some in. And the other thing that can make water betterer is this. Now, this is extremely expensive. I've not used it yet. I'm waiting for when it starts to kind of approach its expiry date, or its best before date, or use by date. Then I'll start using it. But until then, I'm not going to use it because it's just so expensive. Yeah. Right, so water purification, on top of the fact that you might need to go through several stages of purifying your water. So if it's from a river or something like that, you know, pour it onto a bandana so that it catches all the crap. And then maybe if you can afford the fuel, if you can spare the fuel, boil it and then do but then boiling it will do the same job as the bleach. But with boiling it, you're wasting your fuel, or wasting your calories chopping wood up to create a fire to boil water, you know. So when I find this folder, I'll do another video and it'll be more comprehensive, and it's definitely worth listening to. Now, this was what I was trying to explain to Ruth Smith, but it just wouldn't have it in the comments, you know, and she'll mention this. I was hoping to have this video done, dusted, and have a live stream going by 7 p.m. But because all of the information on hydrogen peroxide seems to have kind of completely disappeared, it's just made it a challenge for me. So I need to start digging. I didn't want to waste any more time researching that, so I do apologise, Ruth. I think I've apologised once already. This sewing machine, again, if you're in a shoestring budget, which I know a lot of you guys are, this is not really necessary, you know, even though it's very affordable, right? If you're on a shoestring budget, maybe just get yourself a little sewing kit. And this sewing kit is by a company called Webtex, and I've got a couple of these. And even though it comes with everything you need, including a thimble, you know, this is so you can do it by hand instead of using a machine. But even though it comes with quite a lot, I mean, it is quite comprehensive what's in there. It's everything you need. But I've added extra spools of cotton in there, extra needles, different types of needles. And yeah, so this is fully kitted out now. But then, having said that, once you've bought this, you can make your own sewing kit up, you know, for a fraction of the cost of buying a Webtex sewing kit. Now, the sewing machine that I was talking to Ruth about, or tried to, isn't this particular model, because I was explaining to Ruth that the one I thought I had can run off 12 volt. So it doesn't just come with a proper mains adapter. It comes with a mains adapter, and it comes with a, you know, like the cigarette lighter socket or cigarette lighter plug that you put in your cigarette lighter. Again, this is something that is really, really easy to add into a basic solar system. So it could be run off that, and it doesn't use much electricity. So this runs off mains, but it also runs off batteries. And I think the one that I had in mind, the one that I thought I had, runs off batteries, 12 volt, and the mains. This particular model also comes with a foot pedal, which anyone that's used to using a sewing machine will be familiar with. If you can get hold of a proper old school Singer sewing machine, where it's literally, you know, it's analog, so it's literally a case of to keep it going, you know. But yeah, it does everything, and it's got an LED light in there as well. If I can, I'll find this specific model, and I'll find a review video on YouTube, and I'll post it in the comment section as a pinned comment. Now, if anyone's, again, it's impossible to discuss this through YouTube without doing a video, because the comments just kept on being taken down. So if anyone's interested in something like that, let me know, and I'll or one similar to this. We'll go with this one anyway, because it's very basic and it's a lot cheaper. And if anyone's interested, I'll contact the seller. I'll find the cheapest one. I'll contact the seller and ask them if they're prepared to knock another 5% off for you guys if you're interested. But this will do the job. It will do the job. I don't really want to go through the instruction manual, because you'll start drifting off. But it is very, very, very simple and very, very, very straightforward. So I hope you've got something out of this video. It does come with a set of spools as well, but there are 12 volt / battery operated / mains operated all in one sewing machines, mini sewing machines out there that are actually better than this one. So if anyone's interested and anyone wants me to see if I can get one cheaper with a bit knocked off, just let me know. Let me know. Because fully functional, old-fashioned, analog Singer sewing machines are in full working order are really, really difficult to come by. So that's pretty much it. You know, I'm going to upload this now. I'm hoping it doesn't take 3 hours to upload. So I'm going to sort of post this on now, or upload it, and then I'm going to get settled in and start a Friday night live stream. So hope to see you there. I hope you've got something out of this. I'm sorry it wasn't a bit more comprehensive, especially with the hydrogen peroxide. That little list that I read out is tip of the iceberg. Food grade, 3%. That's all you need. That's all you need. I'll see you in the live stream. Much love and ciao for now.